This is the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA, a weekly recap of your Philadelphia Eagles and news around the NFL. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Rob's Automotive and Collision, BCWSA, Chickies and Pete's, Allstate Fairless Hills Tom LaCroix, Penworth Financial Services, Penn Community Bank, Capital Grill, Ventresca's LTD, Independence Blue Cross, and SEPTA. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Delaware County Times Birds reporter Bob Grotz and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
Thank you very much. We are at Chickies and Pete's in Warrington, and it is great to be with you on this Tuesday night. You know what? It feels great. It really feels great. You feel the whole area. Everybody you go around today, everybody's smiling. And when the Eagles lose, you go around, it could be an 85-degree day with beautiful sunshine, and it's raining on all of us. It feels like the most miserable today. Now, today was miserable weather-wise, but there were a lot of smiling faces because the Eagles won last night in Tampa, and they are now 3-0. And Bob, this is a great start.
Hey, I tell you, unbelievable start. And I think you could almost forget that last year they started 9-0.
Yeah.
And guess what? If they start 9-0 again, they'll be the first team to do that since the Patriots.
Bob, you are
in
so
2006.
You are so far ahead of yourself right now.
You have to be, though, Merrill.
Well,
I mean, first, look at the teams we play. Here, let me get the schedule up here.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. We just know. I want to tell you what we have. First of all, we have one of my favorite people in the world and one of the great guests you can ever have on a show. He's a Super Bowl champion. He was a great running back with the Philadelphia Eagles. He came out of Vatech, and I consider him a very, very good friend. How about a nice welcome for Vaughn Hebron? Vaughn, great to have you here tonight, and I've got to intercept him right away.
Hold on, Merle. I just come for your intro. The intro, I love it. I tell you, that gives me a spark every year.
Gosh. You know what? I remember the first time I met you, and I remember losing you. And you know how I lost you? The Eagles played a preseason game in Japan.
Okay.
And you were a rookie at the time, I believe.
I remember
the Japan trip.
I remember.
And we were at the Tokyo Dome, and they don't know where to put the broadcasters. So they put us on the first row on the field, and the field had a crown to it for drainage.
Yes.
And I saw you carry a ball and then disappear. I lost you in the midst of a run because of that field in Tokyo. But the reason I had to intercept him is because Nick Sirianni, the Eagles coach, has a very good expression. He says, let's go 1-0. That's it. Let's go 1-0. I don't want to hear about last week. I don't want to hear about 2 weeks. I don't want to hear a trap game. The Eagles have to go 1-0 against the Washington Commanders. And no, I don't. I understand that fans like to project. I understand that Bob is already talking about 9-0.
Sam Howell, that's what I'm thinking.
But Vaughn Hebron, you tell me, when you were a player, Nick says you focus on winning every practice.
Look, here's what I tell you. One of the things that we had, and again, I apologize. This is not going to be an Eagle slant, but when I was at Denver, one of the things we really focused on was, we called it Keep Hat Day Alive. So one of the things we did was, when we won, we would work out in just hats and shorts on Friday, and then we would have Monday off. So I remember the year that we won the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl. We're going into the second year after the Super Bowl. We end up winning 13 straight. We're battling some team, and it's close. And John's in the huddle.
John Elway.
Yeah, John Elway's in the huddle, and he's telling us. So he gets in the huddle and he said, "Look, fellas," and he used some curse words. He said, "Look, we got to get things together." He said, "Because you're messing up my hat day." And we looked at the game later, and the commentators are talking about, they're stressed. That's the problem with, you get concerned about getting ahead of yourself, trying to go undefeated, and we're talking about keep hat day alive. So my point is, I like that term from Nick, because now you just focus on, you almost take yourself out of the game, and take away some of those stresses. You just focus on that moment. And for us, that symbol was Hat Day. That's all we were concerned about. Now, does that also mean that we won? But you didn't focus on that. You focused on what that practice was going to be like.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
No, it does.
So-
and that was Mike Shanahan, right?
Yeah,
The
that was
head
Mike.
coach.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was one of the things we did. Keep Hat Day alive. That means everything was on schedule, and we had to be doing the things that was necessary to do that.
Did you know young Kyle at that time?
Oh, that's so funny. Not only did I know young Kyle, I knew McDaniels. They were both ball boys.
Josh
on the
McDaniels.
side. Yes,
Is
he
that
was-
right?
Yes.
Wow.
We got.
Well, what was that like? Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He was the kid that kept putting his finger in the Gatorade. And we used to tell him, keep your finger out of the Gatorade.
Is this
was
Kyle?
That was McDaniels.
McDaniels, yeah.
Exactly. Kyle, he was basically like family. Cause
Keep your finger out of the Gatorade.
Yeah,
That's
so,
great.
yeah, we used to babysit Kyle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kyle, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Kyle was like family. That's why so many of us go to the 49ers game.
Do you?
Kyle we grew up with Kyle.
Oh,
well,
is that-
Kyle grew up with us, obviously.
Well,
So.
yeah.
Yeah, he was 13 years old.
13 years
Yeah,
old.
yes.
Wow. And now he's the coach of
So
one of
we
the
got
best
so
teams.
we got a big group chat in Denver, and we sent a pitch out like, "Yo, y'all remember this kid?" And it's McDaniels, and we was like, everybody to a man, everybody's like, "Yo, he kept his finger in the Gatorade."
So you had no idea that these guys would be NFL
we
coaches.
called him that weird kid that kept his fingers in the Gatorade. That's what we called him. So it was hilarious. I'll show you the picture after. It's hilarious.
That's
Isn't
great.
that funny?
Yeah.
That is
Smart.
really funny.
The world is crazy how.
Well, Kyle's
Lord.
coming. He's
Oh.
coming to the link this year again.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
You think so?
We'll go. We'll see him now. I'll go to the hotel to meet.
When
him.
is that
Yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
hold it.
You took it to me. I don't even know the schedule.
And that's good.
I
Remember,
don't
you
even.
stay-
I just
it's
know
one-
Washington.
Hey,
I have them as
it's
9-0
1-0,
when they
baby.
come in. Yeah,
Ah,
they'll be 9-0 at that time. Let me look
because
at it.
because it's entirely possible that the Eagles and the 49ers could play twice this year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That game is December 3rd.
December
Okay.
3rd. That's gonna
Yeah.
be a good one. Baby.
But I basically know who's on the schedule. I know Miami will be here. I know we have to go out to Los Angeles
In 2 weeks,
And
yeah.
in 2 weeks, and then we have to go to Seattle at one point. And
But I love what you said earlier as far as Eagles is truly the heartbeat of this city.
they are.
You know, when they do well, everybody. You get people, you can drive in front of somebody. People are like, come on, man, you let them lose. Man, they give you the darts. It's just amazing how this town changes when they're successful.
But you know what the funny thing is? Now, I'm not your typical fan. I'm a broadcaster. I'm close to it. I'm working the games. Game ends like yesterday, and you feel good about the way they
Yes,
played. And you
exactly.
get on the plane, but you don't really all take it all in. And the players, people used to say after a win, "Boy, I'll bet that was a fun ride home," or after a loss, "Boy, I'll bet that was a long trip home." And I say, I would defy somebody to go on a team plane and with no previous knowledge and tell me by looking at the players whether the team won or lost, because you might see it in the locker room afterwards, but by the time they get on that plane, they are so physically and emotionally drained.
I will tell you that is the case. Good teams, and great teams, but because you need that leadership that sets that tone. They're already assessing, what they could have done better. It's a time to celebrate, and obviously, if that's going to happen, that needs that night and the next day. But again, it is 1-0 because you have to, and also you're talking about a team with pressure. Even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, it's high expectations.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you is when we were in back-to-back situations, as much as obviously it was enjoyable to win, it was almost a relief. So even though they didn't win last year, they're in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
They're expected to get back to the Super Bowl and win.
Well, they
So
are.
that's a heavy toll. It's a lot of responsibility. So you enjoy it, but it's a different enjoyment because you expected to play at a high level. So it's a lot expected of you, and it takes its toll in a way. It takes its toll.
Takes its toll too when you win the Super Bowl, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you guys did.
That's
and then,
why it's only 7 teams that's done it back
Yeah.
to back, right? That
Yeah.
thing is hard. And how many times do you return? I mean, let's face
And
it.
you've
if
been
you-
it back to back.
Yeah, we one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. Yeah, I didn't
One.
I didn't want to mention that earlier when you said one. I just don't worry about Merle.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I
He's
got two.
two
I got
rings,
two,
yeah.
Merle. I got two. But so
I have 1.5.
I feel you.
So
bro. I feel you.
they won. No, I actually have more than 1.5 because I have 3 NFC championship
Okay.
rings and 1 Super Bowl ring.
I get you. I mean,
But-
nobody talks about them, but I'm not going to say that. But look, so when we talk about as far as the pressure and the responsibility on them, it's a lot. And, they got to find bits and pieces. That's why I'm saying when we talked about things like keep hat day and lap, I guarantee you they have something in it because you got to find your times and pick your spots to find your piece because that pressure, that's constant. That ain't going to go nowhere.
Funny story about the rings. The day before the Super Bowl 52,
Okay.
back in Minnesota, nobody left the hotel because it was so miserable.
Yeah.
I'm in the lobby, and all of a sudden, somebody comes up from behind me and gives me a bear hug and lifts me about 10 feet off the ground. And I'm yelling, put me down, and I turn around, and it's LeGarrette Blount, who I had gotten friendly with.
Yeah,
Believe
okay.
it or not, we have become very friendly. He was such a nice guy.
Uh-huh.
So he takes a look, and I was wearing my 2004 NFC Championship
Okay.
ring. And he said, let me see that ring. And I showed him the ring. He said, this is a loser's ring.
That's why I just said what I said.
That's a loser's ring. He said, we're going to get you a real
you
ring
go.
tomorrow.
There you go,
And
man.
the game, of course, ends the next day, and LeGarrette Blount had a great run, great touchdown run. And I came down in the locker room, and he's yelling, Merrill! And I look up, he said, I promised you a ring, and you're going to get one. Throw that other
That's
thing
pretty
away.
Cool. That's pretty cool. That's a great story.
But why do you think, Bob, maybe you have a theory on this, and Vaughn, I know you'll have a theory on this. Why do you think that only one team has come back from winning a Super Bowl, from losing a Super Bowl, and made it back to the Super Bowl the next year and won it? So few teams have rebounded by getting to the Super Bowl after a loss.
Yeah.
and that's the Patriots. I think it's what Vaughn is talking about. It's so draining,
It's
I mean,
that, and also when you lose. So when you win that Super Bowl, right? More than likely, the owner's going to do what he needs to do to try to keep that team, or try to upgrade the team as much as possible. When you're in that losing situation, unless they truly, you're talking about a young team, but more times than not, it's more, it's wisdom, and unless it's hard to really have that great match where the owners don't put out where they need to bring that team back.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously now the mental part, as far as even though you lost, you still was the second best team in the NFL.
Yeah, you were.
It's a lot of pressure.
And
You
it's hard
still-
to-
You still are on everybody's calendar when they put it up.
it's hard to even
That's
keep
facts.
the coaching staff
'Cause-
together.
Oh,
too.
exactly.
I mean,
and also look at your TV schedule. You're getting the TV schedule
Well,
just
that-
like right underneath the Super Bowl. So
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
first thing I look at. How
Yeah.
many night away games? Because that means you wander in at
And-
6 o'clock the next morning.
Exactly. That, and you're winning. And people expect you to win until
Yeah.
you show them otherwise. So, again, that pressure is, same reason as 7. I don't know how many it is that scenario. But that's not a lot of people. That's not a lot of teams that's able to do that because, again, those expectations is rough. And even when you return the same team, are they the same team mentally? Right? Is that did that same guy go home? Did he go home with a chip on his shoulder, or does he think it's just going to happen again? Is he working the same? In fact, you can't work the same. Is he working harder? Which a lot of people are not going to do. So yeah, you might return. I'm just giving the example. You might return X, whatever their name is, but is he X? Because did he do the same work, or not more work, to return a better player?
And the Eagles replaced some of those veterans that really contributed with young guys.
And obviously it
Talented.
looks like they struck gold.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, do you do that? You know what I mean? Do you bring back the same? It might be a younger guy, but missing the wisdom.
Yeah.
Missing the experience when it counts down the line. You don't. All that matters. All that takes precedent when them games start to count down the stretch.
Quite frankly, it helped them last year, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on defense, Merrill, the veteran defensive tackles they brought in.
Yep.
I mean,
I heard a stat last night. Brandon, he played less reps last year, and he's more productive.
Yeah,
right?
most sacks.
So those little things that matters. That matters. So that's the intrigue, and that's the type of decisions you got to make, and that's why it's so hard to get back to that same place again.
It's interesting, gentlemen, because I hear fans, and I do listen to WIP, and I do listen to our talk shows on our station, and I hear fans complaining. Well, Jalen didn't do this, and this hasn't happened, and why isn't Dallas Goedert getting more balls, and this and that, and a lot of them are intimating that this team is not the team that went to the Super Bowl last year, and then I think, yes, last year's team turned out to be a great team, and as Bobby said, they won those 8 games in a row.
9 in a row.
Or 9 in a row. But listen to this. Go down that stretch of games. You will find in 8 of the Eagles' 14 wins, 8 of the 14, they didn't play all that well.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't play all that well. They were games. They could have lost the opener in Detroit.
They
could have lost to the Bears in Chicago in a game in which they had Jalen Hurts get hurt. They could have lost to measly Houston. They had to pull that game out.
Arizona was
Arizona.
really
They had Dicker the kicker.
If Kyler Murray hadn't have gone down a foot before the first down marker.
I agree. And at the end of the day, you're talking. So again, we're talking about expectations, right? Because you're being judged against what you did last year. Where, not that they didn't have expectation last year, but it wasn't a blueprint.
No.
You know what I mean? So everything was, it's just like life, right? When you go through something the first time, you're like, everything is butter. But the second time,
well, I don't know.
It doesn't feel that way.
Exactly. Ablations, not butter, yeah.
But it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way because you're comparing against last year. And that's also the problem.
But last year has magnified in the memories of the fans because it resulted in a Super Bowl.
But if you look at these first 3 games against last year, that makes them even better this year.
That's the scary thing. Here we are, and we talked about it earlier, where you're talking about a team that they're 3-0, and we still are nitpicking how they done. I think that's a beautiful place to be.
Isn't it? We're going to come back with Vaughn Hebron right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies Pete's.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here's your host, Delaware County Times Birds reporter Bob Grotz, and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And as we said, you are back listening to Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA right here on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM and seen live on YouTube by searching WBCB Sports. Vaughn Hebron, former great running back of the Eagles, the Denver Broncos, is with us tonight. We spent the whole first segment talking about a lot of different things, but we really didn't talk about last night, and we really didn't talk about the Eagles. So, Vaughn, in 100 words or more, tell us, what do you think of the 2023 edition of your old team?
I mean, let's start with I think things got to start with the two line play. You know, offensive line and defensive line. I just think, you know, when you talk about great teams, that's where it starts and ends. Your skill positions obviously need to be there, but you know, I don't care how your skill positions are. If your line play is subpar, you're gonna have problems. And I think right now, if we're not number one, we 1A, 1B, because I mean our offensive line is just monsters. I wish one day I could run behind a line like that. They're special.
You look like you could.
Oh my God! You see them hoes last night, Merrill? and don't get me wrong, Swift. I think I love him. I love Swift, but that line, Merrill, you could have got 5 yards.
Oh, that's not exactly
Merrill, I'm
true.
telling you could have fell for 4. You see them? The hose is crazy.
Only if it was a tush push.
Hey, okay.
and they pushed very, very hard.
Oh, and then the defensive line. Oh my God, the pressure. You know, they made things very tough for Baker. It showed his true colors. But I just think our line play is special, and that when you have that is saying that I say that travels. I don't care where you at, cold, warm, home, away. When you dominate that line of scrimmage, you're gonna be successful.
When the Bucks
it's
lined
just
up,
facts.
Yeah, when they lined up with the ball at their 1 yard line.
Oh,
you knew it was.
I knew it.
I said it.
It's crazy.
I
couldn't believe I said it's got to be a setup. It's got to be a setup.
I thought they can't run out of there.
That's what
set
I
the
said.
back deep.
Man, I just think, you know, when you see that, and then again, yes, is offensively, are we completely in sync? No, but I think the fact that we can sit here and still talk about things that we need to improve on, and went 3-0, and we just, I mean, basically manhandling people out there. I mean, we're averaging what? It's got to be $150 or more, right? I mean, when you can run the ball in this league, forget about it. I mean, because now at some point they're gonna have to commit, and then now you got Brown and Smith outside all day long. I just think it's a special combination. I think obviously the rhythm and the chemistry is gonna improve with the passing game, and I just think it's gonna get better and better. I just love what I see.
And the guy that I have a problem. He's definitely not being used right, in my opinion. Is Dallas Goedert.
Oh, I agree. I agree. But again, that's another weapon that we can bring to the table. I just, at some point, you're like, well, you could literally run the ball every down. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have people like, well, why aren't we running more? I mean, we could have had more yards yesterday. That's a fact. That's a fact. So then you're like, okay, we got Brown in better rhythm yesterday. Smith, he didn't do his regular thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're like, we got so many things, so many times you don't want to get into that where you're trying to, outthink a lot. Just make the game simple. They don't want to stop the run. Keep running it, and hit them when you need to. I just think is when you talk about an offensive team and a defensive team, I think we're very sound. And again, that travels because at the end of the day, you don't want to be your best team 3-0, right? You don't want to be playing your best. You want to be playing your best when it counts, and I think that's what we're going to be.
I gotta say this though, I thought this would be more of a Miami Tua type offense right now, with the weapons that they have, especially outside.
I agree.
Those two guys, both 1,000-yard receivers. But Goddard has that kind of ability.
I agree, but you have a play caller that's been used to calling plays at Miami. I don't think you can discount when a guy has not been used to calling plays and dealing with Hurts. It takes time. It does take time. You only had an off season.
Now the thing I notice, and I think it's pretty apparent, that Jalen Hurts is not running the way he did last year.
I agree
but
with
the
that.
defenses are playing him differently. They had 6 months to study tape and decide that they can bring extra men up. And plus, I think it's a directive from the coaches that when he runs, get down. You are not running to take on linebackers. There was one where he ran a naked boot around left end,
and you saw.
And he just quietly slid down 2 yards from the first down, but there was only a minute left to play. They do not want him taking direct hits. They want him around for 17 games plus.
I agree. I thought, I think we forgot last year the biggest reason I think Hurts had as much success as he had last year was literally the first time that he had back-to-back time where he has the same play caller calling offense. And then now we're back to someone else. I don't think people can – I think people are looking over that, meaning, yes, he was in the organization, but he wasn't calling plays. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. And, again, you did get to the Super Bowl, so people are going to play you different. You know what I mean? So all those little things, it takes time. And, again, we're still 3-0.
Yeah.
Still 3-0, and it's early.
What do you notice as the biggest difference between Miles Sanders, who had a great year last year and is a great guy, and DeAndre Swift?
I'll be honest with you. I love Swift. As far as Sanders and Swift, I think are the same backs. You got to look at them holes are different. Them holes is different. I'm telling you. I don't know. I've never seen holes like that at this level in the national. It's just crazy. You look at the last two games, them holes they've been opening. It's special.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. So, I mean, if you're trying to compare the two, I honestly think they're the same back.
Now, Mike,
I really think they're the same
Mike
back.
Quick made a statement last night on the broadcast, and this was not a knock at Miles, who we both respect and love.
He's going to say East and West?
Yeah, that if he would hit in there and there was nothing open, he would try to take it outside. He said DeAndre keeps his head down and keeps moving.
It ain't never been nothing open. I'm telling you, I'm sitting there looking. I'm a running back, man. At the end of the day, I love Swift, but I haven't seen anything not open yet. Let's talk about when they start bringing more people down, because right now it ain't nothing but daylight. Nothing but daylight. So I don't know where that coming from.
Some of that too is
because I agree with it. One of the problems I did have with Sanders, it was too much East and West. So we are in agreement with that. But Swift hasn't had to make that decision yet. It's right there. They even showing it from the back end. Them holes are humongous.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
Take another break.
I think that some of it too is the way they're being played.
And
those defenses,
exactly
the personnel.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't care what's happening. I'm just saying it's the holes.
Right.
It's the holes. So as far as we were just talking about the
Big
running back
people on little
making
people.
the decisions.
Yeah.
He hasn't had to make too many decisions. Do I go outside?
Not after 4 yards, at least.
That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
mean, Merrill.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, back with Vaughn Hebron right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
When an Eagles player gets hurt, the team takes care of him. When you get hurt, the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will take care of you. They understand that a severe accident can be a life-altering event. You need a reliable teammate to fight for you. The attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will get you great results. And if there's no recovery, there's no fee. Contact them today at 215-750-0110 for a free consultation. 215-750-0110 for a reliable ally that's on your side.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here's your host, Delaware County Times Birds reporter Bob Grotz, and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are at Chickies and Pete's in Warrington. Bob Grotz, Vaughn Hebron, and me. All right, it's time now for this week's injury review brought to you by the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio. Contact them today for a free consultation at 215-806-3689. That's 215-806-3689. 8-9. Bobby, the injuries.
A little bit more trouble at the safety position. Sidney Brown had a little bit of a hamstring issue after the game. I wondered why, at the time they didn't announce it, but he only played 12 of the 47 snaps, and he made that big play on Mike Evans.
Yeah,
he did.
In the corner. That was a game changer. So we'll see what happens with him. It's not supposed to be severe. And then safety Justin Evans. He had a neck issue, so
So he left the game.
that could be a problem too. I mean, he only played in the first quarter, and then you had Jalen Hurts with the flu. Landon Dickerson, his knee, a bruised knee. He plays through just about everything.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think he didn't. play.
They brought in Sua Apeta.
Right, and he played the last 25 snaps.
And he played well.
Yeah, and Merrill, it was 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like it.
It felt like it.
It did.
It felt like it. Although Vaughn during the game, it did. There was for most of the game a steady drizzle. But it was very, very. It was light, but enough to wet the football and make catching the ball a little slippery.
It does, yeah. You got to think about it. You definitely got to think about it.
You do.
All the more reason to run, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Put the big spikes on.
Straight ahead if you can.
Yeah.
Vaughn, when you look around this league, it's tough. It's easy to assess and say, well, San Francisco's off to a great start. Miami's off to a great start. The Eagles are 3-0. But a week ago, Dallas punished the New York Jets so thoroughly and looked so good, and Micah Parsons looked unstoppable, and here they go and lose to Arizona.
I agree. A big thing you can see with Dallas, to me, their Achilles heel, is stopping the run. And if you, again, as much as obviously, offense sells tickets, and that's throwing the ball everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You show me a team that can run the ball and stop the run.
Yeah.
That's Merle. You've been around way longer than me. That's the holy grail.
Yeah.
That's literally, I don't care how much dressing you put on it, all these things, and I don't care how many tickets are being sold with the ball being thrown everywhere, but it always comes back to that when it's money time.
Run the ball and
even
stop
when
the
you
run.
got great passing teams, what do? Quick passing game. From what both sides of the field, that's the extension of their running game.
It is an extension.
Because it's ball control and stopping the run. That's facts.
Yeah.
So having that said, when you show a team, Dallas obviously has a lot of talent, but they can't stop the run. If they got a problem stopping the run, how they gonna stop us?
Yeah. And they had three offensive linemen, starters were out, and that didn't help.
That didn't help, but
And
they ain't got nothing to do with them stopping the run.
Right. They committed 15 penalties.
Yeah,
I mean
that too. That's bonehead. Look,
they got
great
problems.
teams are smart teams. It's facts. Great teams are smart teams. They're not penalized a lot.
Are the 49ers a great team?
I think they are a great team. I think they're well coached. Obviously, again, that defensive line and offensive line get at you. That's the two things. If you got an offensive line, obviously can protect and can run, and you have a defensive line that's going to get after you and run sideline to sideline, they're going to be there when it counts. It's not rocket science. When you look at these teams, you might see early, flow, the team came out of nowhere and it's an outlier. But if you look at those two things, that's going to tell you who's going to be there, and because
Brock
it
Purdy.
travels.
Yeah, Brock
It
Purdy.
travels.
I don't. I kind of.
But he don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
He knows who he is. He knows his limits, and the coach puts him in situations that he doesn't have to be not who he is.
Yeah.
That's all that. Again, smart teams.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Because there's no doubt that the single most important position in football, if not in all of sports, is the NFL quarterback. The quarterback. And Purdy is more of a game manager.
A game manager. Know who you are. They're running again, all those, that window dressing. Same out of McDaniels. They do the same thing, but then they're pounding you. And then that clears up that window when they do play action.
What did you think about that? I mean, 70 points by
Jeez. So look, we got a group chat going on with the Broncos, man.
70 points.
You should have heard the back and forth because it's embarrassing. It really is.
Sure.
Because the two teams I follow are the Broncos and the Eagles. That's just I'm a football fan, but that's the two that I'm gonna take an extra look. And so when they lose, I feel like I lost, So I got 70 put on my head.
But then you bounce back on Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm bounce back. Exactly.
I'm Monday night.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely bounce back.
Yeah, that thing. Ooh. And that's what good teams do to you, right? They get you out of your comfort zone, and things go haywire because they speed things up, and that's what Miami they tend to do.
What do you think? You think it's too early, Denver, to that coaching
I think it's much too
deal
early.
with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, the quarterback?
Because at the end of the day, think about it. It was this team first. If you look at them play, and I'm not talking about the 70 points, but if you look at them play, it's a much better operation that's going on now than it was last year. Last year, it was embarrassing on every level. So I like what I see as far, but again, it takes time to truly make change. That's the difficulty with salary cap, and that's you can't go in the portal and change it overnight.
No, you can't.
You can't. I mean,
transfer portal.
Yeah,
right?
you know what I mean. So
no,
that's
Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, brought in 80 players to
80
Colorado,
players, right? And God bless him for doing that. You can't do that on the NFL level.
No,
right? So it's gonna take a while. I definitely seen differences. Now, that game got a little crazy. Hopefully it's an outlier. But at the same time, I knew it was going to be a problem. I ain't going to tell you I knew 70.
Yeah.
But they gave up almost 40 to Commanders the week before.
You like Deion?
Huh?
And the job that he's doing there?
I love
okay.
Deion and the job.
Do you know him?
Huh?
Do you know him?
Yes, I know Deion very well.
What is the real Deion like?
The real Deion is who you see, and that's the truth. That is literally what you see of Deion, that's who he is. That's facts.
Same guy that we see with Nick Saban on the Aflac commercial.
Same guy, meaning when I say same guy, he's so smart. He understands that, he has to sell. And then the side that he's showing to the kids, though, that he's basically a father to all those kids. And that's the truth, bro. I'm telling
that's great.
That's who he is.
Yeah.
That's literally smart enough to know, that persona in the locker room is not going to sell. So he has to sell to get the eyes on you and make the change that he wants.
It's like Buddy Ryan,
but you understand?
a
Exactly.
different version.
It's just a different version, but
okay.
He understands what the cameras wants to see. And guess what? If nobody's caring, nobody watching, it's hard to make change.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. And the fact of the matter is, you look at these great coaches. You look at especially on the college level. They had the whole thing is recruit. Get people to come to your university.
Say it again.
And that's why Nick Saban gets the great players.
Why is a kid going to come to Colorado instead of Alabama?
Dabo Swinney.
You got to give him something, and that's in his wheelhouse.
Yeah. That's right. And then he brought his son in as a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
And another son as a corner.
Exactly.
So
I like the quarterback. His son.
I'm telling you,
he makes great decisions.
He's the real deal, man. I think he's the real deal. Think about this week how he got beat up and still didn't make mistakes, though, right? So many times when things start to snowball, you just throw them up for grabs. He didn't do that.
Right.
He didn't do that.
Vaughn, we've talked a lot about the offense and the defense of the Eagles, but how about the special teams? What
was that punt returner's name?
My guy. I'll tell you the truth. 2 years ago, I would stay up on Saturday night late so I could watch Utah play just to see Britton Covey return and actually act as a slot receiver in space.
Okay.
This kid has it. He really has it. We saw it last night.
He does have it. To me, Nick, and again, I think we were all in the same. I wasn't sure about when he came. I just got to give him so much credit, man, because, to have great teams, every level has to be sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're trying to get to where we're trying to get to, obviously this is back to the Super Bowl, everything has to be sound. And everybody has to, hold up their part of the bargain. And that's you never want to be that guy or that unit that has let somebody down. And that's what I see from this team. And it's really cool to see.
Well, they had some problems in the Super Bowl with special teams.
Exactly. So you got to straighten that out.
Well, and then they made the change at punter. Aaron Sippis is a great guy.
Yes, he is.
And not a bad punter, but he had a couple of bad punts and a couple of bad stretches, and they just figured it was time to make a change. I mean, you've got to be tough.
You got to be tough, and that's it. You got to be tough-minded, and, in them situations, especially big time, you can't afford to have that.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Is there a team out there that you think is, other than the Eagles, San Francisco, and Kansas City, obviously, who you think could creep into into the mentions of being a contending team?
Well, again, as we said earlier, you always got to look to defense, right? Because at the end of the day, the defense wins championships. As much as they try to make it offense, at the end, even the way they call plays, as the playoffs come, they let it's a lot more physical. They let things go because it gears towards defense. So now I know that they got a lot of problems offensively, but y'all, have you been talking about that Cleveland defense?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
they're good.
That's crazy. I don't know. Again, are they going to be there at the end? Because I don't know if they have enough offense. But man,
well, there's somebody named Myles Garrett.
Oh my God, the job that Schwartz has done is amazing. You got to talk about Pittsburgh's defense because again, they're always they travel well. You know, when it gets cold away, you can always rely on your defense. Offenses go up and down.
What about the Bills?
The Bills?
They got 9 sacks of Washington
they got 9 sacks,
last
but
week.
against Washington.
Okay.
See, I'm not really I don't know Washington. You know what I mean? It's the same Washington that they went toe with Arizona, and it was what? What was the score? So I don't know what Washington is. They scored a lot of points on on the Broncos.
Yeah.
Which we now know Broncos
and
defense
their front four defensively are 4 number 1 draft picks.
Jeez. Yeah. So I don't know what Commanders are yet. So I still think, like I said, the Browns and Pittsburgh, defense-wise, I think they're special. And at the end of the day, if you look at history, it's showing you that's going to get you in the playoffs, and you're probably going to have something to say about that.
I got to admit, too, I like the Patriots. I like their defense.
I love their defense, too.
I
love their
the
defense.
Quarterback.
That's what really convinced me about Miami, because he threw the kitchen sink at him as far as staying back and doing that umbrella, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, Miami didn't. The key is they didn't make mistakes, and they didn't flinch.
That's it.
So that's what I knew that Miami could be for real.
Okay, we'll be back with Vaughn Hebron right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
The life of an Eagles fan is a wild ride. Some years we triumph. Some years we don't. What never changes year after year is how we get to the game, shoulder to shoulder with our fellow fans on SEPTA. And this season, fans ride home free from NRG Station on the Broad Street line thanks to Unibet, an official casino and sportsbook partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Plan your trip to the game and learn more about free rides home, sponsored by Unibet at iseptaphilly.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here's your host, Delaware County Times Birds reporter Bob Grotz, and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are. Merrill Reese, Bob Grotz, Vaughn Hebron. Time now for this week's Penworth Financial Keys to the Game. The key to your financial future is Penworth Financial. Call them today at 267-997-4503 or visit penworth.com. Usually Bob and I chip in, but when we have a guest as brilliant and analytical as Vaughn Hebron, we're going to give him the whole kit and caboodle. So tell us, Vaughn Hebron, what do you think? Give us 3 keys to an Eagles victory over the Washington Commanders.
Okay. Establish the run. Stay away from turnovers. And some more explosive plays.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll buy those. I'll buy those.
Like that?
My key is make Sam Howell throw the ball.
Yeah, that's
he's
going to
get
point.
I mean,
oh man,
what's the record for sacks for the Eagles? 11, Merrill? 12?
I think it was 11 against the Dallas Cowboys.
They're going to be playing catch up.
When they knocked Troy Aikman out so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it was time.
I think we'll be looking at that in the fourth quarter.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Unless the Eagles are running the ball.
Let me tell you something.
But I will tell you, Eric Bieniemy, he will run the ball. Like, he'll stay conservative. You know what I mean? He'll try to, especially after what happened last week. You know
last year, the Washington Commanders were dreadful.
Oh yeah,
and they came here with the Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're not talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Yes,
we're talking about Taylor Heineke.
He said we're talking about
and
Taylor.
They beat the Eagles.
I remember.
They did.
So here's what we do know. Just like you're saying, let's talk about 1-0. That's what you focus on. Can't look past any team in the National Football League.
You cannot.
You can't. You got to come play your game, sound football, and lean into your strengths. Running the ball. All right. Take some shots when you have them, and obviously create havoc up front.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think Micah Parsons was very foolish the other night, where after the game, after losing to Arizona, he said, "Well, we played down to our competition."
Yeah, that's
kind of
exactly.
Yeah. You don't say that. You say, "Listen."
But that's what he's become.
You know, how about giving
he's a
credit?
Soundbite guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Yeah.
Oh, he is. He is. He's a great player.
Oh, a great player.
But he'll get his. You know, it'll come around some other time. But listen, he would have been very wise to say Arizona did a great job.
Because guess what? Look, they had plenty of time to turn that game around. Mm-hmm. Arizona, they owned it. I was impressed. I truly was impressed. And then it makes you think. You're like, well, think about it. Look at Arizona. They were in close games. They're trying to figure out. You're talking about a quarterback that only got there a month before the regular season. Yeah. So maybe this is Arizona. Maybe they're starting to try to hit their stride. You don't know.
I know the one thing I do know is they have a smart coach.
Oh, yes,
I know
do.
Jonathan Gannon. He aggravated a lot of Eagles fans with the last game, the Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is this guy's defense gave up an average of 17 points a game. And Jim Johnson once told me that is the target for every defense. If they can hold the opposition to 17 points or less, you're going to win 90% of your games.
Okay, but I'll argue this. This defense is better.
Well, this defense is better.
It's better.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But that defense didn't have a maturing Jordan Davis.
They had a much better back end.
And a Jalen Carter.
They had a much better back end of the defense.
Oh, I don't think so.
Last year? Absolutely.
No, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Because here's why I'll tell you. When we didn't get pressure, we got exposed.
That's right.
Say it with me. When we didn't get pressure last year, we got exposed.
See?
In the biggest game.
You've had pressure every game, so
Well,
yeah,
we didn't
okay,
have it
you're-
when it counted.
you're
I'm
right.
talking about when we.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would have said the same thing, but when they got to hold up longer, it's a little sus. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, this is the point where we will choose games for this weekend. No scoring involved, just win or lose.
Just for that, I'm picking Arizona to lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vaughn, may I use your pen just to,
Yes, sir.
just to put this down?
I don't
All
even care who
okay.
they're playing.
All right, Detroit at Green Bay.
Detroit at Green Bay. I like Detroit.
I do
Detroit.
too. I do
Yes.
too.
Okay,
Detroit.
3 for Detroit.
Oh,
All right,
sorry.
Atlanta at Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I take
for me,
Jacksonville. Yes.
Okay, Jacksonville. We
Yeah.
all
Oh,
take
not
Jacksonville.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's the big one. Miami coming off a 70-point performance at Buffalo.
Miami.
Miami,
I'm
Bobby.
going Miami.
I'm going with Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going with Buffalo.
Oh,
New England at Dallas. Do the Patriots have a chance to make Dallas go down for the second straight week?
oh, it depends on injuries.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take New England.
Me too.
Okay, I'm taking, regretfully, Dallas. Okay. This is a good game. Baltimore at Cleveland.
Oh, that's a great game. Baltimore and Cleveland. Ooh. I'm gonna tell you what. I hate to say it. I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Okay, Bobby.
I'm going to take Baltimore, but
Okay.
I would not be surprised at all if Cleveland.
Well, it doesn't
won.
matter. You already took Baltimore.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
Cleveland
Well,
wins.
I want to pick both teams, so I'm
Okay.
not. You know, I can always argue.
Minnesota. Poor winless Minnesota at Carolina.
Take Minnesota.
Bobby?
Carolina played good last week. I'm
They
going to
did?
take them. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm taking,
I don't think
I'm taking
Minnesota can defend. Yeah.
They're not going for 0-4. Denver, your other team. Denver at the Bad News Bears.
I
Bears,
take
Bears might-
Denver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's in.
Okay, that's in Chicago. Somehow or other, I'm taking the Bears just because they can't. I mean, they just can't lose forever. And I think what Justin, if I were a team that needed a young quarterback, I'd try to get Justin Fields because I think Justin Fields is a lot better than he looks. He needs coaching, and he is
I
not
agree with
getting
that.
coaching in Chicago.
But okay, I agree. But that ain't what we're talking about now.
No.
Hey, right now, I'm gonna take Denver. I'll
Okay.
take Denver.
Okay. And finally, Seattle at the Giants.
I'll take Seattle.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm done with
I
Giants.
take Seattle too.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, let me tell you something. I thought the Giants, they played with a lot of heart
Oh,
out in San Francisco.
they've
And-
always played with a lot.
And
Like, since Dabo's got there, he's got them.
yeah,
playing
Dabo's done a good job, and I think Daniel Jones is a decent quarterback.
I don't dispute that, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I think Seattle's a smart team. What's that quarterback name again?
Geno Smith.
Geno.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Geno's got his second calling, and he's taking full advantage of it. You could tell he has control. The team really believes in him.
That is a young, fast,
Okay.
physical
Really.
team.
We
Yeah,
are
I
out
like
of
that.
time. Vaughn Hebron, you are a great friend and a
Yeah.
wonderful,
Merrill,
Great to
wonderful
see you.
Very
Say hello
good
to your
see you.
daughter.
Thank you,
Bobby,
Merrill.
thank
Championship
you.
sprinter.
Thank you.
Chris
Yeah.
Irmer, our producer, Lee Alexander
Hurdler.
was here and did absolutely
Thank you.
nothing.
Thank
We
you very
thank you
much.
for joining us. Good night, everyone.
You've been listening to the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Tonight's show is an exclusive presentation of 1490 AM, as well as 107.3 FM, and heard around the world at WBCB1490.com.